Hello students, welcome back to Reading for Vocabulary. My name's Brian Stewart. We're on lesson 6 now and we are talking about all grown up. So we're talking about how a person grows up. What are the different steps or stages in a person's life? In this unit, we will focus on how do people grow and change. We'll find out that people grow and change from very many different stages or very many different steps. And the first step we're going to talk about, of course, when a person is very new, when a person is very young, they just came into the world, we say that they are what? A very young child, 0 to 1 year old. Oh, very cute, right? Oh, he's sleeping, right? Very cute. What do we call this person? We call this person a baby. Baby, right? 0 to 1 year old. 0 is interesting. In American age, when a baby is born, the first day, we say they're like 0 years old. They're just 1 day old. 2 days old, okay? Then we go to months. The baby is 3 months old, 6 months old, up to a year. But before they have been in the world for 1 year, we say that they are a baby. And by the way, baby, how do we say many babies? We say babies, I-E-S. So the Y changes to I-E, and then we put the S. Babies. Babies. So one baby, many babies, right? Okay, so that's the first stage in a person's life. The first step or the first stage in a person's life. And we're talking about steps or stages in people's lives. The first step is baby. What's the next one? The next step is a child who is learning to walk. A child who is learning to walk from 1 to 3 years old. They are learning to walk. They can't walk very well yet. They're kind of going like this, right? They're learning to walk. They're like this. And when they do this, we say they're kind of toddling, right? They are a toddler. Toddler is kind of the idea of, a baby wobbling, right? Like this. They're very careful. They don't walk very well. They're not like a mad robot, right? Maybe I'm not doing that right, but they're toddling, right? They're a toddler, a person who toddles, a person who doesn't walk very well yet. They're still learning. They're learning to walk. 1 to 3 years old, we call those people a toddler because they're learning how to walk. They haven't been able to walk well on their own yet. Before they walk, what do people do? Before they walk, like babies, they will crawl. Crawl is like this on all arms and legs. That's crawling. After crawling, people will walk. But when they're learning to walk, they are a toddler. Okay. A boy or girl between 3 and 12 years old. What do we call that person? We used that word actually on the previous slide when we talked about a toddler. Of course, we talk about that person. That person is a child. A child between 3 and 12 years old. Maybe some of you are between 3 and 12 years old. I don't think any of you are 3 years old. You don't understand me. But maybe if some of you are maybe 10 or 11 or even 12 years old, then you can be called a child. By the way, in English, what is the plural of children? If you have one child but many, do we say childs? No, don't say childs. Say children. Children, many children. At your school, there are many children. In your class, there are many children. Okay? So one child, many children. Now, after a person, after 12 years old, right? They become 13, 14, 15. They become one of these people, or in this stage. A boy or girl between 13 and 19 years old. 13 and 19 years old. So what do we call them? Of course, I'm saying it, teen, because 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. All of these words end in teen, right? So we say that these people are called teens. Now you might also call them teenagers. 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 That's another word for teens. Okay? Teenager or teenagers. Teen is the same word. Okay. Now, after the teenage years, right? This is quite a lot after. This a long time after. Okay? A man or a woman over 20. Because after 19, then they are 20. 19, then 20. 20 years old, that person is now what? What do we call those people? We call those people an adult. Adult. Adults are no longer children. They are no longer teens. They are adults. They are independent. They are responsible for themselves. They can make their own decisions. They don't depend on their parents anymore. They are independent. They are adults. A man or woman over 20 years old. Now, these are older adults, right? These are getting a little bit older than adults. And of course, you do have different stages in adults. You have young adult, middle-aged adult, or senior citizen. Let me write those down for you very quickly, just a little extra. Young adult, you can say young adult, usually somebody who is in their 20s, young adult. Then after somebody gets to be about 40 years old, then you could say middle-aged. Middle-aged. Okay, let me see if middle, DD, that's a DD. M-I-D-D-L-E, age, that's an A. A-G-E-D, middle-aged. And after middle-aged, maybe around 60, after 60 years old, we can say senior citizen. Okay? But all of these people, all of them are adults. Okay? So you also have different stages in the adult stage. Okay, let's move on. To get bigger and taller. So we've just talked about baby, toddler, child, teen, and adult. This process, this change, what do we say? What's going on here? To get bigger. What's the verb we use? We use, of course, the verb grow. To grow. Somebody who gets bigger, right? They get bigger and they get taller as they go along. It's very interesting. The baby is so small. When you see babies, you say, oh, wow, they're so small. Their fingers and their toes are so small. But they get much bigger, right? They grow into a full adult. So they grow bigger and they grow taller. They grow. What are the different forms of the verb grow? Of course, we have grow, grew, grown, right? Grow, grew, grown. It's an irregular verb. You have to remember the different forms for the different verb tenses. Grow, grew, grown. Okay. Next we have, this is another verb, to rest with your eyes closed. At night, this is what you should do. Don't play computer games, right? Get in your bed and do this. What is this? Right? What are you doing? You need this, especially when you're growing. When you're young, you need a lot of this. What is this person doing? This person is sleeping. So she is sleeping. Get sleep. Go to bed. Get some sleep or go to sleep. Right? Sleep at night. What are the different verb forms of to sleep? We have sleep, slept, slept. So this is the same for past tense and present participle. Sleep, slept, slept. Sleep, slept, slept. Okay? That's another irregular verb. Sleep, slept, slept. To rest with your eyes closed. Usually we do it at night, but sometimes we do it during the day for a short time. If you sleep during the day for a short time, that is take a nap. Take a nap. That's a short sleep during the day. Take a nap. Maybe you're tired. Take a nap for 30 minutes or an hour. But at night, you sleep at least 8 hours. Usually people sleep for 8 hours. Some people less, some people more, right? But don't play video games all night. It's important to get some sleep. Okay. Now, to begin life, we're talking about a baby. Of course, the baby there's a point when the baby comes into the world. That is the time that the baby, we say, is beginning life. Of course, babies begin life in their mother's wombs, in their mother's bodies, but the moment the baby comes out into the world, we have a special verb for that. What do we say? We say to be born, to be born, to begin life. When were you born? When were you born? Okay, that's the very common question. When were you born? You could say, well, I was born in 1980 something, or I was born in 1980. Some of you might have been born in 2000 something, right? Maybe 2000 or 2001. When were you born? What year were you born? Okay, what year did you come into the world? Born. Okay, now this is a verb that we talked about before, actually, to go by moving your feet, right? Toddlers are learning how to do this. Toddlers, remember I talked about this, toddlers are learning how to do this. What is it? It is, of course, to walk. To walk, right? To move by moving your feet. Now, of course, walk, you could also say run, but run is to move fast or to go fast by moving your feet. To just go normally people walk, they don't run. So to go by moving your feet, you walk. Okay? If you go fast, that's run. Okay. To say things. So you're with your friends, right? And you say things to your friends. They say some things to you in return. So what are they doing? Of course, we say they are talking. To talk. Talk, talked, talked. Okay? Talk. To talk with people. Of course, talk is a regular verb, so we don't have to worry about the different forms, right? Talk, talked, talk. Okay, so these people are talking to say things to each other. Let's talk. Okay? Or they are talking to each other. Okay, what's our next word? Our next word is another verb. To, right? To make. To make pictures with a pen or pencil. You probably do this a lot. Even at school, you do this. What are you doing? You're making pictures, right? Maybe a house, people, or landscape with trees, maybe fish or animals. But what are you doing? You're making pictures. You are drawing. To draw. To draw means to make pictures with a pen or pencil. Now, draw is not a regular verb. It's an irregular verb. So what are the different verb forms? What are the different forms of this verb? We have draw, drew, drawn. Draw, drew, drawn. So this verb, draw, drew, drawn. Okay, so to draw is to make pictures with a pen or a pencil. Also, you could, with those pens or pencils, that's drawing. If you use a paintbrush, then you're not drawing, you're painting. Okay, so that's different. Okay, paintbrush, that's painting, but pencil or pen, then you're drawing. Okay, that's an interesting point. Okay. Very nice to look at. Oh, look at this. Kyupchi, right? Kyupchi. A little cat is very, what? We say very cute. A cat is cute, of course, but not just a cat. There are many things that are cute. Like, for example, we're talking about babies. Babies are very cute, right? When they're not crying. If they're like, ah, that's not cute. But usually babies go, right? And they make the little faces. That's very cute, right? So we say very cute, very nice to look at. It's very nice to look at something that is cute. It's also very interesting, right? 재밌어요, right? But it's also very cute. 귀엽지요. Kyupchi? Yeah, kyupchi. Kyupchi, right? Oh, 귀여워요, right? That's very cute. Okay. Okay, let's match the words to their definitions. Okay, how well do you remember the words that we just studied? Let's go over the vocabulary. What we need to do is take these words in this box and match them to the definitions. What are the words? The words, we have many stages of a person's life. In fact, most of these words are words that have to do with a stage of a person's life. Only one word is not concerned with the stage of a person's life. Let's go over them. We have toddler, toddler, child, child, adult, adult, baby, baby, teen, teen. Those are all the words that have to do with the stage of a person's life. The one word that is not a stage of a person's life is this one, grow, grow. Okay, so let's put these words to match with their definitions. Okay, 0 to 1 year old. Of course, we're talking about a stage in a person's life. Remember, when somebody is newly born, they're just born. And before they are 1 year old, what do we call that person? We call that person a baby, a baby. Okay, that's the first stage in a person's life. Then we're moving on to the next stage, 1 to 3 years old, 1 to 3 years old. So after 1 year old and before or until 3 years old, right? In that time, what is that person doing? That person is learning how to walk. So we call that person what? We call that person a toddler. A toddler is from 1 to 3 years old. Okay, number 3. Now, between 3 to 12 years old, this is a much longer time, right? A much longer time. That's like 9 years, right? Or 8 years. For 3 to 12 years old, we call that person what? We call that person a child. They are a child. They know how to walk. They know how to talk, right? They are a child. Up to 12 years old. Next, the next stage, after 12, they become 13, then 14, all the way to 19. What do we call that person? We call that person, of course, a teen or teenager, as we said before. Now, after 19, they become 20 years old. So 20 years old plus. So 20 years old and after. What do we call that person? We say that that person is an adult. And remember, there's different stages of an adult. A young adult, middle-aged adult, and a senior citizen, right? Okay. Number 6 is not a stage. To get bigger and taller. To get, that means it's a verb, right? Our verb in this chart, of course, is to grow, but grow means to get bigger and taller. That's the word that we looked at. That's the definition. So grow means to get bigger and taller. By the way, we're all growing, aren't we? We're all getting bigger and taller. Even me, I'm an adult, but I'm getting bigger, right? Okay, maybe I'm not getting any taller, but I might be getting a little bit bigger. Okay, but usually we all grow, right? Of course, we all grow, especially before we're 20 years old. Some people are still growing, okay? Okay, well, that wraps it up for the vocabulary section. Let's take a short break now. We'll come back and take a look at the reading passage, so don't go away.